UFC 326 took place over the weekend. The BMF belt, the boringest mother effer, am I right, guys? I mean, holy smokes, I fell asleep in the third round. But before that, when we saw Drew Dober eviscerate Michael Johnson, right after that, what more would you want to hear than the White House card announced right after that, as I predicted? That was the real main event, and obviously, I mean, this has been hyped up for so long. I've made videos all the time about, like, they're overdoing it. They fall into this trap. This is what Dana does. He's the promoting extraordinaire until it comes to actually, pulling it together, right? Justin, we've spoken a lot about this card. Everyone, right? Everyone was trying to guess who was going to be on it. They threw out, it was going to be Jon Jones and McGregor. It was going to be 8 or 9 title fights. My Trump's better than that. I'll have to pull it out again later. But obviously it wasn't going to be any of that. And we ended up with a guy named Kyle Daukaus, who is alleged. I mean, I've never heard of the guy before, but maybe he's a fighter. Justin, let's just get right into it. What did you think about, what are your first thoughts? This announcement, these 6 fights, the White House card, the biggest card in UFC history. What do we think?
Yeah. So initial thoughts, honestly, like being a real fan, it is a good card for a UFC pay-per-view. It's a good card, but for the White House, for what it was built up to be, absolutely, I would say a disappointment. And this is why. It's clear as day what the plan was. You can put the pieces to the puzzle together. Although Dana wants to sit up on the podium and just straight up lie to the fucking media, it was clear as day. It was John Pereira. It was at one point Islam Topuria. Those were going to be the 2 fights. Mm-hmm. And that's why Dana is sitting here telling people this is going to be the greatest card of all time. Because if those are the 2 fights, you could put fucking me versus Hebler as the fucking rest of them, and it's the greatest card of all time. And they fucking had it, and it looks like to me is clearly John wanted, let's say whatever, $20 million. Dana thought that he would, if they called him Friday, that he would kind of pressure in, because he already went down in his price. He said it. He just sent out a tweet, and Dana thought he would kind of be like, all right, fine, I'll just take the 5 or 10 million. He clearly didn't, so then they moved off of him, and now they hate Jon Jones, and he's done. According to Dana, he's done. This is ridiculous how they do business.
Well, okay, so it is very hard. Like, talk about the 2 biggest liars of all time. To hear the stories between Dana and John, you're like, all right, you're probably both lying in some way.
They
but
just
like,
paid Conor Ben $15 million to fight Regis fucking for credit. Like, dude.
Another thing I'll say on that very quickly. Go watch Dana's press conference last night after Zuffa boxing. The guy's fired up. You think it's like a 2017 UFC. He's like giddy with excitement talking about these guys. Bro, I have not seen that version of Dana White in years. Be done with it, dude. Get out of here, bro.
He's
like,
checked out
Hunter
bad,
Campbell,
bro.
You're not in charge anymore. Like, you just keep I don't know. There's so much to talk about because we're all so frustrated. And here's the other thing. So you said this would be a great card, right? And I kept saying, as I said, I was not like, this is going to be the greatest card ever, right? I tried to keep my expectations low. And even for that, dude, Diego Lopez versus Steven Garcia. So, like, I think that's a banger of a fight. I'm a huge Diego Lopez guy. Garcia's a savage. Like, that's a great fight any way you spin it. What is that doing on this card? Like, I thought that the way he was talking about it, I thought it was going to be all big names. Like, that's like a real fan's, like, fantasy matchup. It kind of doesn't make sense rankings wise. There are a lot of other guys at featherweight that maybe deserve it over Garcia. And how about Lopez? He fights on literally every big card, like UFC 300, 303, the return of Conor McGregor.
He's had 5 title shots already. I mean,
and he just fought. In the first Paramount card, he's on it. He breaks like both of his legs, and now he's fighting 10 minutes later. I don't really understand it, but that's more what I mean. Like, that's just like a really good fight, but like, that is not. There's no way that was like one of their first options. And if you're a casual fan, you probably don't know who either of those guys are. Like, Diego is not like a huge name yet, although he's a great fighter. Again, great fight, but that is not. And maybe I did think it was going to be more gimmicky. I don't know, but I just think that's a weird fight. And then there's Kyle Daukaus versus Bo Nickel, dude. If it was Bo Nickel versus Colby Covington, I mean, talk about a freaking, a true red-blooded American's dream, or that would be like a nightmare matchup for them because that's like their 2 favorite people. Kyle Daukaus, bro. What are we talking about? What is the biggest card ever of something unlike we've ever seen before? we're going to have to watch Bo Nickel versus Kyle Daukaus. Like, I'm kind of done hating on Bo Nickel, but are we insane? And then Sean O'Malley versus whatever, Zahabi, like, that's just a weird fight. O'Malley versus Corey Sandhagen, we've all wanted for
it's an easy fight for O'Malley to win, so they can just put him into a title shot. It's literally, that's all it is.
But who wants to see it? Have you ever seen Zahabi fight? He's like a madman, dude. He's like all running all over. Like, that's going to be a bizarre fight. I'm sure O'Malley will piece him up, right? So I don't know, and let's get into the two main fights, right? Well,
the most cost-effective co-main and main event, all cheap, all.
We'll get it. I want to rip on Jon Jones as much as possible. I know you will defend him, but McGregor is now saying that he was they're reporting that he accepted to fight Carlos Praches, which is like maybe the worst possible matchup for him. And then the UFC didn't want that fight. Why offer it to the guy?
Because every time they offer him, unless he has this clause in his contract, every time they offer you a fight, if it doesn't work out or something like that, it basically extends it pushes the contract down the road.
But like, it was so clear they weren't going to have him on, right? Because they need to sell with a when he fights. Why even offer it for him? That's so disrespectful. McGregor made you what you are today, however you want to say it, and now you're going to just disrespect him on the last part of his career when you need him now more than ever. There's no stars in the sport.
What they do at the end, they throw you to the wolves. They fed Anderson Silva to Adesanya. They feed them all to the wolves, man.
But isn't that business 101, bro? I mean, I'm not the brightest guy here. You bend the knee to the consumer sometimes. Dana always like, I do what I want. No one play. It's like, no, you do what I want, because if we all stop watching, then you don't have anything, right? Yeah. And it seems like we're going there step by step by step, because if you're not willing to open up your pockets for Jon Jones and Conor McGregor, I hate like, I'm so anti-Jon Jones. Dude, you pay him whatever he wants to see him fight Alex Pereira.
Because I don't care. Jon has literally fought for you for fucking decades at this point, and he's been making... Dude, I can guarantee you, if we ask Jon Jones, Jon, what'd you make when you fucking put Lyoto Machida to sleep with the fucking nastiest submission anyone's ever seen? Oh, I made 100 and 100, and they threw me $1 million to my front doorstep as a thank you.
Yeah, he didn't even cover the tab at frickin' the Wynn nightclub after that.
They made so much money off Jon. They said, dude, it's his last fight. It's gonna be his last fight. Give him a thank you. And dude, you paid Conor Ben $15 million. You got no problem paying fucking Jon. It should be no problem. $20 million, Jon, no problem. You versus Pereira. Everyone in the world would tune in if Jon Jones was fighting Alex Pereira.
Dude, like, you know what else
Makhachev,
is so insane?
I get it, because Makhachev, although it's time to start fucking, it is time to start. Listen,
we'll get into Islam. We'll get to Islam.
It's time to start talking about Islam ducking. Period. End of story.
Yeah. But let's talk about Jon. First of all, another thing. How many times am I going to fucking say? First of all, sorry, but this thing that Dana does, like, it's like he forgets that everything's recorded and he's always on the record. Remember when the biggest meme ever was like a year and a half of him gallivanting around talking about how great Jon Jones was? It was the biggest UFC meme. It was all he talked about. He's like, Jon Jones is the number one pound for pound. Jon Jones is the greatest fighter of all time. And then he just so quickly turns. As soon, he was probably trying to schmooze Jon along. Hey, you'll fight for 3 million big ones, right? And then as soon as Jon doesn't do what he wants, Dana gets in there and he's like, Tom Aspinall made Jon Jones retire without even fighting him. Do you guys understand what we're dealing with? Pereira hits like a Ford Escort, dude. Like, he's so easy. And now it's so clear that, like, everyone's reporting, and these guys have great, like, Ariel Helwani. I'm going to believe Ariel Helwani, right? Yeah. I'm going to believe him over Dana White because he is right about literally everything.
And Ariel, him and Dana he hates Dana, so he flat out said Dana can't stand him because he has inside people that actually get him the real deal.
100%, dude. When someone's just lying and making up stories, you don't care. When someone knows everything, that's when you're mad, right? So that's probably why Dana hates him. Everyone is reporting, including Jon, who maybe isn't the most reliable, but everyone in this community is reporting that they were trying to get Jon Jones to fight. They were in negotiations, and Dana's like, I never spoke to Jon Jones, the former light heavyweight champ. No, I haven't spoke to him in years. Like,
he's done fighting. He's done in the company.
No one else. Know what this guy, dude? Dana, again, it's like he's hyping up these things. You shouldn't. you're shooting yourself in the foot. I always say this with Ian Gary, bro. It's a weird analogy, but Ian Gary before every fight is like, he's like, I guarantee I will flatline below Muhammad on Saturday. He's like, I guarantee a finish. And then he comes out and he doesn't even come close to a finish. And he's like, what'd you think? And it's like Dana's doing the same thing. He comes in, bro, he was on Piers Morgan like a week ago. And he's like, I'm looking at the White House card. It's in front of me. And Piers Morgan is like, is Conor McGregor's name on that list? And he's like, it might be. And he's like, is Jon Jones' name on the list? He's like, it could very well be. It's like, why are you doing that? Why are you're going to tell us in like 48 hours. So now, bro, what do you think? Like, just say no. Just be like, oh, I don't know. He's literally playing into it like he has some big announcement. Go watch the clip. They're like, is McGregor's name? And he's like, could be. It's like you're trying to, and then it's just not him. Like, why are you doing that? Like, it's such a bad move.
It's getting to the point where we're getting. This is like we're starting to really get to this like I'm worried territory about the sport. Like
I agree.
It's headed in the wrong direction, and I think pretty soon Dana's gonna leave. I think Dana is out of the. I think he's no longer the face of the UFC in like a year or so. Like
I'm with you 100%.
Dude, because this is now what's gonna happen. Like some of these guys, like Ilia, I don't know how many fights he has left on his deal, but they have him locked in and trapped. How they do everybody. He's locked in and trapped, so he's got to fight. Conor is at the point there's no reason for Conor to lie about shit. He doesn't care. He literally accepts this fight. They still don't give it to him. They said they're meeting with his agent today. It's clear as day that they're gonna be like, I think they do the Diaz fight because he's not fighting Charles Oliveira, and he'll get submitted in the first round. It's not gonna happen. Yeah, but my point is with his contract, like if they're not willing to pay Jon Jones the $20 million, Conor's not going to fight for $20 million. Conor's going to say, listen, at least pay me. You need to pay me $45-50 million to step in. And then they're going to say, all right, well, we'll give you 25. And Conor's going to be like, dude, then I just will I won't fight. Then I just will never fight again. And that's what's going to happen. And they're going to, people are going to be like, oh, well, Conor's never, like, Conor wants to fight. They either want Conor to do a contract extension or they're going to end up shelving him for fucking ever. That's what's going to happen.
I mean, this is maybe not the UFC dilemma, but like the ball has never been more in someone's court than Conor right now. He's the richest fighter of all time. Like there's no reason for him to fight. It seems that he does want to fight. Obviously, you're not going to do it unless, you reach a certain – the guy fought for $200 million before. I don't think the rest of the UFC combined has ever made that in every fight in history. So he did that in one night. So the guy, money is no problem for the guy. He's not fighting for money. But when you have that amount of money, a certain number has to be reached. So, like, the balls – it seems like the UFC is kind of trying to, string him along, and he's just like, dude, I'm not fighting unless you pay me X amount.
Well, that's the difficult thing is his contract. His contract is all based off pay-per-view, and they're done with pay-per-view, so they're going to have to – those numbers, like when he's doing over 1 million buys every time he fights. So do the math on that. I don't know what it is, but he's getting that percentage every time. So, like, they're going to have to give him a flat fee of this and that, and they're not going to lose money because he's going to do over 1 million pay-per-view buys guaranteed. He could fight fucking –
He could fight Cowboy Cerrone after a multiple-year layoff at 246.
And do 1.5 million pay-per-view buys, no problem.
Bro, he has 7 or 8 of the top pay-per-views of all time. The Cowboy card in particular, whatever you want to say about Cowboy, go look at the rest of that card. It's atrocious. It's an Apex fight night, and it's like the 4th highest seller of all time because Conor McGregor moves the needle unlike anything we've ever seen in sports. So, and you want to know why? Because they signed a deal with Paramount Plus at the end of last year going into this year. And who's on all the posters? A guy who hasn't fought in 5 years, a guy who has like 2 fights since I was in high school, bro. That's the poster boy. And he's right next to Jon Jones, who had already retired at the time. And it's them two because they can't make stars. And guess what? They don't want to make stars. And that's why I'm almost surprised that they're putting Ilia Topuria Topuria, who's the best fighter I've ever fucking seen, by the way, on this card. A guy who said I'll move up and fight Islam, even though I'm 5'4", because I'm a fucking psychopath and I'm unlike anything you ever seen. And I'm also a really cool guy, so I probably will become a star. I'm surprised that the UFC is putting him in this position because, as we say, they don't want to make stars.
Dude, they have no choice with Ilia. They got no choice. He flatlines everybody, and he's good looking and fucking from a.
He's the coolest guy ever. So once that pendulum swings, like it did with McGregor, they don't like that. Because what happened with Francis Ngannou, one of the biggest freaks we've ever seen, and when it finally started to come together, and he started working with our brother Eric Nixick, and now it's like, wait, this guy could maybe beat any heavyweight ever. And then he's like, I want X amount of money. I want this. I want that. The UFC said, yeah, no, see you later, pal. And he kept trying. He's like, no, I'm the heavyweight champ of the world. Like, I'm gonna try to use my name.
And Ngannou would literally, Ngannou would have been a guy that could do 1 million pay-per-view buys with how big he like.
He's he's a made-up story. The guy was working in the sand mines. He was homeless, and now he's like the greatest heavyweight I've ever seen. He looks like a mythical beast. And like, that's not a guy that you want to make into a star. No, they don't want to make stars, bro. That's their business. Once the pendulum swings and you're the money fight, it's not the UFC's name. It's Conor McGregor. It's an Ilia Topuria type character. They don't want that. So again, that was a little bit of a rant there.
This is what it's going to come to. Ilia, let's say he beats Gaethje. It's going to get to a point where they're going to say, hey, Ilia, you got 3 fights left on your deal. Let's do an 8-fight extension here. And Ilia's going to go, okay, I want such and such a fight. And they're going to go, no. You're going to take this. He's going to go, no. Then they're going to go, okay, Arman Saryukin, you ready? Here we go. And that's what's going to happen. And then
I would want to see that fight, but that's, again,
100%.
All right, what else? All right, so I almost forgot we got the return of Michael Chandler. Talk about a guy who's been done dirty by the UFC. I guess he really wanted to be on this card. But Hoofy, I'm stealing this actually from Chuck Mendenhall. I was listening to him and Ariel, and not kind of a free shout out there, but Chuck's a friend of the program.
Yes, sir.
It seems like the UFC's matchmaking process, it used to mean something, right? Like, that's with Diego should be fighting Yair Rodriguez. They've had beef for years. They hate each other. This fight's already been sold, so I know that UFC hates selling fights. Just show a clip from a press conference where they had to be separated. Like, they were right next to each other in the rankings. Those two should be fighting. Like, they used to not just be, okay, we're close to each other, in the rankings. There are other things that matter, bro, whether that's stylistically, whether that's storylines. Like, that's what this is. It's an entertainment business. Like, that's what you're supposed to do. Hoofy versus Michael Chandler, like, bro, this is one of the most special strikers in the division against whatever you want to call Michael Chandler at this point in his career. I love Chandler, but like, that seems like a weird fight. And it also, like, oh man, I don't know. I'm just so confused by this. Again, it's a great card. If this was headlining, if this was UFC 328 or whatever, like, I'd be like, oh, that's a great card. But like, it's just weird, man. It's weird. And also, again, so we have 2 of the biggest stars. We have Ilia Topuria and Alex Pereira that are headlining it. But both of them are not headlining against the guy that we would most want to see. We both love Justin Gaethje, bro. But like, in lightweight right now, I think, again, Ilia Topuria is one of the most special fighters I've ever seen. I want to see him fight Islam Makhachev more than any fight ever, other than like, Francis versus Jon. Maybe that is comparable. I think Islam versus Ilia is one of the greatest fights you could ever make. I want to see that fight. And I want to see him fight Arman Sarukian, because I think Arman Sarukian is the most deserving number 1 contender. He's more than earned a title shot. And I think stylistically, that is a great fight. I think Justin Gaethje is probably the best stylistic matchup out of any of those names, right? So, I mean, again, I would rather see somebody else, not that Gaethje hasn't deserved it. And then you look at Pereira, or you look at this heavyweight picture. I'm going to give you one last rant here, bro. We had Francis Ngannou the night when he beat Stipe in March of 21. I said, I think that guy is competitive against any heavyweight ever. He just flatlined the greatest heavyweight of all time. And he seems to be getting better and better. That night, and then what happened that night? Him and Jon Jones started jawing at each other. And Eric Nixick and Dana were talking backstage. They said, we'll be ready for the summer. And then that fight never happened. Jon Jones never fought him. And they just keep planting in Ciryl Gane to be like the second name in all these title fights. So you have Francis Ngannou, one of the most skilled fighters of all time. One of the most one of the best looking heavyweights of all time. Jon Jones, the greatest fighter of all time, moves up to heavyweight. They should fight. That fight never happened. Jon Jones is at heavyweight now. A guy named Tom Aspinall is running through the heavyweight division like we've never seen before. He's knocking everyone out in 1 minute. It's unbelievable. He's like, again, a super like new age heavyweight. So Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall is the fight to make. That fight never happens. But now we have Tom Aspinall in the heavyweight title picture. He gets the belt. And then we have Alex Pereira, a guy going for triple champ status, one of the biggest stars and celebrities we've seen in the sport, a KO artist of the highest degree. Now he moves up to heavyweight. I just listed those 4 names. None of them ever fought each other. There are multiple timelines where they've all fought each other. There are multiple timelines where we're living in the golden age of the heavyweight division. Did you hear those 4 names I just told you? And that's not to mention a Ciryl Gane, a Josh Hokic. But like we could be in an era where imagine Alex Pereira versus Francis Ngannou. Imagine Tom Aspinall versus Francis Ngannou. Imagine Jon Jones versus Alex Pereira. Imagine any of it. They've all been at heavyweight, just overlapping each other, and none of them have ever fought. Whose fucking fault is that, bro? The heavyweight division in any combat sport, that's the real money division, right? The baddest man in the world. That's what the title you're going for. You've had all these guys walk through the division, and I get Dana. The big ego, like you bend the knee. These guys are fist fighters for a living. I don't think they're going to be like the most savvy businessmen. Sometimes you bend the knee a little bit and you put your ego to the side and you make fights happen. With all those guys, regardless of what you think of any of them, there's no reason why they all shouldn't have fought, let alone none of them. And if Ciryl Gane goes out there and beats Alex Pereira, which is a very real possibility, then we'll kiss that one goodbye too. I mean, we just kissed Jon Jones goodbye officially. Man, sorry for that rant. What else you got for me, dude? What else?
That's one thing I wanted to say about the White House curves too. Is it's just like I do think Ciryl Gane, like obviously, like he's a favorite in that fight, but dude, you're gonna tell me it's a kickboxing match. I'm taking Alex Pereira. It's period end of story. Like
I think it's a great fight though.
I think it's a great fight, but I think Alex Pereira beats him. I just do. It's a
knockout.
Yeah, no threat of a takedown. I think he'll find a shot at some point. Like. That's what I think, but I don't know. I could see Ciryl knock him out as well. Cyril's going to be big. Like, Ciryl, that's a different level of like physical strength and stuff but I think I do think I'll pick Alex to win that fight. But like, I don't know. Ilia is my favorite fighter. So obviously I want him to win and expect him to win. But if I'm Gaethje, dear God, like we'll talk about that another day. Spam the fucking calf kick early on if you want any shot in this fight. Otherwise, buddy, you're gonna be face down, ass up, pretty quick.
Another thing about Ilia, bro, it's like his legend continues to grow without him even fighting. Like people are like, oh, why didn't Charles just ragdolled Max Holloway for 25 minutes? Why didn't he try to do that game plan against Ilia? He did. He tried really hard, actually. Like the minute the bell rang, and he got reversed and he got put in a crucifix almost immediately. And then as soon as they got back up, he got separated from consciousness. So it wasn't a matter of he didn't try to enforce the grappling. He tried really hard. Ilia Topuria tossed him to the ground, like got in the underhooks, and then it was like, all she wrote from there. So I think Ilia, we just continue. I mean, how good has the Volk win aged? Like, how good has Max looked before Saturday? Like, he hasn't even been fighting, and he just continues to become more of a legend.
I know Max doesn't want to cut the weight, but he should fight at featherweight if he wants to win a title.
I think we were drinking the Kool-Aid. I don't know. I was definitely drinking the Max at lightweight Kool-Aid because he looked so great on the feet against Gaethje. Yeah. So good. He looked
Just
so
no
great.
No threat of a takedown, bro. Just nothing with Gaethje.
Exactly. I agree. And I kind of thought Saturday was going to be like that. I was like, I mean, Oliveira's talking about, if he points to the ground, I'm going to slam and bang. Well, he didn't have the chance to point to the ground until about 2 seconds left. Any other thoughts on the White House card? Again, it's weird. I don't know. The whole thing is weird, bro. Like,
oh no, that's what I was saying. Yeah, I just think it's. I don't like how it's clear cut. Basically, who's gonna win the fights? Other than I think Steve will beat. I actually think he could beat Diego Lopez, and then I think the Sean fight's a no brainer. I think
Roofy is. Definitely knocking out Chandler.
Yeah, Roofy's gonna.
Ilia's like minus 600.
Hey, the cool thing would be though if Chandler lands the shot and just goes Conor McGregor. Hey, if he wins by knockout, they'll make that fight. If they don't shelf Conor because he doesn't take his Conor Ben contract.
Chandler in front of, dude, imagine the Chandler post-fight speech if he gets a big-time knockout.
He's gonna get brutal. I think he's gonna get brutally flatlined though.
Too. But he always plans the speeches anyway. What fight wasn't it against Patty when he's like battered? Or no, against Oliveira they gave him an interview, I think, and he's like battered and bruised, and he's like, there's still only one name on my mind. It's like, dude, stop, bro. It's so embarrassing. And I do think he's been done wrong with the UFC. And even Conor, in like his most coherent interview in years the other day, I believe it was on something with Chael Sonnen, but he was saying like, he's like, I kind of feel bad for Chandler. Like I'm still open to that fight. And the UFC said, we're moving on. I don't know. A lot going on, bro. I think Conor, now they're saying International Fight Week. Guess what? I think they were saying that the last like 2 years, bro. So like, I'll believe it when Conor McGregor walks into the octagon. I mean, I'll be sat, dude. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm certainly not holding my breath. Jon Jones officially retired. Your thoughts? He just retired moments before we hopped on. I thought he
didn't retire. He actually asked for his release.
You're right.
Which they're never going to do. They're going to hold his contract, not going to let him do anything else like they do to everybody. But that's what I'm saying when it comes to Conor. Like, even if Conor, let's say somehow they give him the whatever number he's at least okay with, he might accept something just because he wants out. Like, dude, for him to get his last fight before he accepts a new deal with them, no shot. They'll shelf him forever, period. This will be Conor's last fight, like, if he fights. If they'll never let him fight out his contract and walk. No shot.
I'm excited to see how it plays. Ready for this prediction? Are you sitting down?
Yeah.
Netflix is opening up their pockets and they're entering the MMA game. MVP Promotions, I guess, is Jake Paul's thing. Francis Ngannou versus Jon Jones. Netflix. Jon Jones is a free agent, dude. Francis Ngannou is a free agent. Why
They're
not
going to let Jon go? They're not going to let Jon. He's not going to be a free agent.
I don't know, dude. I think this is a irreparable relationship, and that's going to be on the co-main event to Conor McGregor versus Jake Paul. I mean, cinema. Who's getting goosebumps, dude?
Conor's
I'm taking your job.
Way too small to be fighting Jake Paul. Jake Paul would love that, though.
You see the guys he usually fights, bro?
I know.
That would happen. I know you're a big Pauler, dude.
No.
They're reporting now. They said a fight broke out. This fight would have been the craziest fight you've ever heard, and that's why the card isn't as good. They're now reporting that it was Ilia Topuria fighting Islam Makhachev, and they're also reporting that they said it would have to be at 170, and Ilia said, "Run it." So what do you make? And then Dana, obviously, when he was in the middle of kicking his feet talking about Zuffa boxing last night, someone's like, "Oh, that's being reported that it was Ilia Islam." And he's like, "Not true. It's not true. That didn't happen." What do you think?
Then who was it, Dana? Who on earth else would it be? Like, literally.
Why is he not saying, dude? Why bring it up? He made it a huge thing. He's like, actually, there's the best fight of the night. Actually, just got taken off. I can't tell you who it was. And then they keep asking him. He's like, no, I'm not going to tell you guys. Like, why would you not say it? And then all this stuff is being reported. Like, and now you're like, no, it wasn't that. I'm still not going to tell you, but it wasn't that one. What do you make? I know we don't have all the information. Do you think that was the fight? Absolutely. And what do you think of Islam Makhachev if that is the case?
Yeah, so it absolutely was because I don't know why the guys do this because it ends up making them look bad, but fucking whatever his name is, Ali fucking puts out the tweet a week ago.
Yeah,
it's not Ian Gary. This is gonna be the biggest fight the UFC can do. Who would he be talking about? Oh, my bad. The fucking featherweight that has to chase Islam up to fucking 170 when Islam walks around at about 200 plus pounds, bro. And we're going to have a featherweight, a dude who's 5'6", come up to fucking fight him at fucking welterweight. They know what they're doing. Like, and again, it is time to start talking about Islam ducking Ilia Topuria. Not that I don't think that, dude, I think if Islam fights him at welterweight, even probably lightweight, he's going to most likely win because he's going to be way stronger. I know Ilia is very strong. Fucking Islam's, like, dude, insanely strong. Like, and I just think he'll make it very boring, fucking put him up against the fence and do this, tire him out. But the fact that Ilia is saying, fuck it, 170, let's go. Dude, Islam, like, you clearly were entertaining it for at least a couple days, and then something happens. You move immediately when Ilia wants to come up to 155, you shoot right up to 170. We're starting to see some ducking going on, and it's not. I think that it's just more of, look, when you're watching Ilia fight and he's brutally flatlining the best of the best, it probably makes Ali go, let's ride the Islam train as long as we can, until all the money's made. When all the money's made, we've all got what we need. We'll then go, all right, let's fight now, and that'll be that.
Until then, let's call up our old friend Marty Fake Newsman, bro. We know you deserve.
Let me call up Usman so I get a double pay on him and Islam, a double fucking pay.
That's what's so confusing about these guys, bro. Everyone in this industry, it's like you have to be a moron to be involved with it in any way. Like Ali, like tweeting. Do you put out a statement like that to try to put it back in the UFC's court? Like, all right, we're saying that we're open to it. Now you have to make the fight. Now it's coming out that he was injured or something. So why even entertain it? Because now you look bad, bro. Yeah. If the other guy this is about two people, right? A fist fight. It's a two-man dance. If one of the people are all in, then it's the other person's fault. So if you're not going to take the fight, then don't entertain it. Then don't put stuff out there on your own accord.
That is him as an agent trying to get the number to bump up. Like he's trying to get.
Do you think it was a numbers problem? Like, do you think it? So
I think to an extent, probably, dude. Islam was, as he should. Islam, like, does Islam deserve Jon or Conor money? No, but for that fight,
deserves a lot of money.
Yeah, they should both be paid well. And I think Ali knows that, and Ali's not going to let that fight happen on fucking whatever Islam makes right now, which is probably $2 million. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I'm curious. I really want. That's why I hate that Dana just shuts every day. I want someone to come out here. And Ilia's manager was tweeting the same thing on like late Friday night. He's like, some crazy stuff went down, like crazy stories, like whatever. Hopefully, you'll all be able to hear someday. I want to hear what actually happened, because I have been defending Islam Makhachev like crazy for years now, dude. I said he's not running from Ilia. He's chasing his own legacy, right? He's moving up to 170. A lot of people thought he was going to lose to JDM, and he dominated him regardless of how you thought the fight went. I think Islam Makhachev I think they're the two most skilled fighters I've ever seen, so nothing would make me happier than them to share the octagon. I don't even think that's a hot take, dude. Islam, and if you're Islam, dude, why not take the fight? What's it like? You talk about legacy. How's that for legacy? You go beat Ilia Topuria. You break the wins record. They're the longest win streak of all time. You retire as a double champ. Like, that's a pretty good legacy move. So I don't think anyone at this point is going to say, oh, you're beating the smaller guy, especially if it's at 55. But the fact that Ilia Topuria...
You can only we're only going to get this fight at 2 and 8, like... At some point, one of these, I don't think we're going to see a Jon Jones with these guys where, like, they never lose for a decade. Someone's going to land a shot, or Saryukin's going to, like, Saryukin is, I'm telling you, is, like, going to beat, like, I'd pick him to maybe beat anybody, honestly, right now. So,
you think he beats Ilia?
I do.
Wait, you think he beats Islam at 55?
At 55, I do, yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I don't know, I love, Ilia's my favorite fighter in the world today. I would be more confident in Saryukin beating Ilia than Islam, though. Yeah. Interesting. I don't know how any of it plays out. That's why I want to see it. Like, that's why I think Arman versus Ilia is a great fight, bro. Like, I'm favoring Ilia in that fight.
I know, but they can't risk it right now. I'm actually in agreement with the UFC. Arman's deserving, but from a business, you can't run it right now. Arman's gonna have to fight one more time. He'll probably fight Charles Oliveira in a rematch.
Ask that. I think Arman's deserved it, but I agree. Like, especially that Dana's making this into he's publicly saying, I don't really like the guy right now. So what do they? And Ilia doesn't fight all that often. If Ilia, I mean, let's say he wins in June, which he's a big favorite to do so. He'll turn around and fight at the end of the year. By that point, Arman will have one fight in like 2.5 years. So I don't know if they're just going to give him the shot, especially with how risky it is, but. Yeah, White House card. You and I have been complaining about how bad this Paramount era has been, and everyone will say, "Well, wait till, dude, they're saving everyone for the White House card. Oh, they're saving him for the White House card. Well, now we have the White House card, so I mean, where the fuck is everybody? Because there's been one champion. We're done with the first quarter of the Paramount era. We're done with the pay-per-views or numbered events. There have been 3 of them, and one champion. What happened to what happened to multiple title fights on one card? You had Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett for the interim belt, which was like the 4th best guy in the division versus like the 6th or 7th best guy in the division. The only champion that's fought is Alexander Volkanovski, who fought Diego Lopez in a rematch that nobody wanted, and he 50-45'd them. And then you just had the fake BMF belt on the line in a fight that stunk, whatever you want to say. I mean, it was 20 plus minutes of control time for a fake BMF belt. Rogies is like, is that the criteria? Who made the rules of the BMF belt that you have to you have to stand and trade? No, you guys did, but there are no rules. It's a made-up belt entirely. And why would anyone think that they'll stand and bang? Maybe because that's how they promote. It's called the baddest motherfucker. Do you know what it means? What do you think that means, Rogi's like, why would anyone? Oh, those are casuals, dude. No, you're the casual. It's made up. Are those the rules? There are no rules. It's been 3 fights. We haven't seen one champion because they were saving all of them for this card. Where are they?
Literally, dude. Literally.
All right. All right. Well, any closing remarks?
No, that's about it right now.